Welcome everybody. I will show some interesting positions about the Philidor kind of rook endgames. Let me show you the first position immediately, and I'm sure this almost everybody knows. It's a very well-known example. The famous French chess player Philidor demonstrated first how to hold the position as the easiest way. Rook b6. The point is that he doesn't want to allow forward the white king, and only when he pushes the pawn, then he goes back to the back rank, and white's back rank, and give checks, and the white king can't hide in front of the pawn. This is the most simple, not the only one, but the most simple draw in the current position. This we called Philidor position. Let me show you that if in this position white to play. If white to play, this is still draw, but it will be much harder. What would be the white move with which he tries to play for win? Practically, that's why this is important, because if you know this, you can win even the drawish position, because the opponent not sure will know. But for that, we should know what is that move with which we go to play for win. King f6. Yes, this is what has point. King e6 doesn't have any deep idea because check and we reach the Philidor. The king f6 idea is that, of course, rook b6 check is bad because then e6 and we reach the winning position. If the black rook has to go back, then this is the called passive defense. It's very bad here because rook h7 and rook h8 and win. What should black's only move here? The only move is rook e1 to go behind the pawn, because if he would play rook f1 check instead, what is another natural move, then we go in front of the pawn and our position is good, because okay, king f8, then rook a8 check, king g7, and it's very important, the rook is not behind the pawn, so white has this king e7 and just pushing the pawn. Rook b1, for example, e6, and this we already know, rook b7, king d6, rook b6 check, king d7, rook b7, and in zigzag he goes towards the rook. And another important principle, there are no the three files between the defender rook and the pawn, only two, and that is easy losing. It would be the same story also if he would play rook f7 check and then go to b7, reach the same position after e6, and white is winning easily. So in this position, when I play king e7 without that, he's attacking my pawn, this is just a draw. No, this is just a winning and he can't reach the draw. That's the point. And that's why he goes behind, because he wants to reach the same. Let's see. King e6 is the only move, yes? Because now we can realize that rook a8 check has no point because I can't push the pawn. Anyway, if he wouldn't play rook e1 on anything, just a pass, what would be the typical winning promotion by tempo? So the main threat is rook a8 check, king d7, e6, king d6, rook d8 check, king c7, e7, and then promote. So that's why rook f1 check that we discussed, and rook e1. So rook a8, king d7, and even if the black king is in the long side, yes, also draw because he cannot push the pawn and the pawn is only on the 5th rank. So that's why the best try is still king e6. And let's see what can we see here. King f8, of course we go towards the short side, but it's very important to notice that even king d8, the wrong side, if the king goes to the long side, it's even also draw, because the pawn is only on the 5th rank and he cannot come with this natural way because king d7 and he stops the pawn. We can't go forward with that. With rook e8 still we can try. What is the rook e8 idea? If he would just stand like rook e2, then king f7 and the pawn is protected, And he cannot come with king d7 because e6 check, and we just go forward with the pawn, e7 and winning. So rook h